Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So I'm going to start this video over again due to technical difficulties when I did the live stream. So I hope that you all can bear with me. But I came across this article on Facebook a few days ago, and I said I have to share this with my subscribers because it raises some interesting questions and it is very bizarre. And I'm not one to believe in conspiracy theories without proof, without actual facts. Often you hear conspiracy theorists talk about crisis actors. And although this is not quite that type of scenario, it lends itself to those types of arguments. It is something conspiracy theorists could use to back up some of their arguments. So I said, I have to share this. So in the media, you've seen all these protests around George Floyd, all around the country, people protesting, people marching. You have people from Black Lives Matter and other groups demanding justice for the brother, demanding an end to police brutality. And you have some people, as I've discussed in prior videos, that are calling for defunding the police and they're calling for abolition of the police. And of the stories that I've seen on this subject, one image really hit home to me, and that's the image of this black woman right here. Now, there were different images of her, and I thought it was a powerful image. And you had different news stories show her image in them. And these stories said that she was a member of the Black Panther Party. And one thing that I found to be odd was that there was a white guy that was featured in some of these photographs. You know, it was her with these Black Panthers, and then this affiliated white guy was hanging out with them. So I was like, what is that about? Like in the back of my mind, I was like, what is that about? But it turns out that apparently this woman is not in the Black Panther Party for real. You know, this woman is not a real activist. In fact, she is actually a model, an actress, and many of these other people that are dressed in these Black Panther outfits for this particular demonstration are actually models and actors. And I'm going to read some excerpts from this story, and then I'm going to talk about that a little bit further. This article says, it's hard to stand out when you're in a sea of thousands of frustrated, sign-waving protesters. But in marches and demonstrations over the past week in Atlanta, Decatur, and another place, it goes on to say, a small knot of charismatic young people kept getting photographed. And it goes on to say this. It says, they said they were Black Panthers, and they looked the part with all black attire and black berets adorned with cat-headed patch. And then it goes on to say their leader was a tall, thin black woman armed with an assault rifle and a determined look. It talked about how photos of this group popped up in local news outlets, including the Atlanta Journal-Constitution and also a British tabloid press as well. And it goes on to say this armed female Black Panther leads her comrades, including a white recruit, on a march through Georgia. That was in the Daily Mail. And then it says this, it talks about how this activist on Twitter decided to investigate, you know, these activists. You know, he saw this particular person on Twitter, saw these images, and they're like, who are these people? Like, I've never heard of them before. I'm sure that's what this person was thinking. They never heard of these people before, so they went to investigate it. So this Twitter user by the name of Wolf the Red identified them from their Instagram accounts. And he found out that they were actually models and actors. You know, and in their posts on Instagram, there were no prior posts dealing with protests, dealing with calls to action, or any of that stuff. There were no posts of a young woman with a gun. She had no other posts with a gun or anything like that. And what I'm going to do is try to click this link um, to this Twitter page. Hopefully it comes up with no problem. So this person, Wolf the Red, says, I finally had a breakthrough with some help when I found the white dude's Instagram. I was able to track down a handful of them through him and came to a hilariously depressing conclusion. And basically that was the day these people are models and actors. And if you click on, these Instagram pages, you can see their accounts, and I'm going to click them on and let them. So it may take a second for them to load up. But yeah, you go on these pages. Let me see if they're up. Yeah, so this is one of them, Spike G. And when you look on his page, prior to him, the protests, you don't see anything else on here about protests. You see photographs. Like they look like modeling photographs, and then you have a photograph of a screening for a particular series, and you have this. So this is clearly an actor. An actor. And then you go to the white guy's page. It says A-Town's Finest. And although his account is private, you see information about him. It says actor. And then it has this link right here. Let's see if we can access that link. So it's a link to a talent group. It's a link to, it says actors, writers, producers, directors, creators, industry scoop, podcasts, and then it even goes to a website. So you see this guy's information. It says acting coach, actor, writer, musician, all this stuff. Nothing on here about activists. Nothing on here about being a member of the Black Panther Party or, anything about social justice or ending police brutality. But this guy is masquerading around in some, militant type of attire, pretending like he's some kind of activist or something. Like he's somebody out here fighting for justice for this brother George Floyd and for other victims of police brutality. And apparently this person must have taken down their page, or there may be a problem with the link, but all the other links worked, and that one, for whatever reason, says page not found. So this is very suspect. You got this group of people taking all these pictures, and you see the picture right here. The picture with the fist up and all that kind of stuff, and all these people taking their photographs. And my question is, what is this all about? And then when we get into this article a little bit further, this particular black woman that's posing here, and I believe her name is Whitney, she goes on to try to explain that she was actually involved in the movement and that she was a member of this Black Panther organization. And I'm going to read some excerpts from this article, some more excerpts. So it talks about how this particular news outlet reached out to members of the group, including Whitney, the striking woman who drew so much attention. And it says that she's an Atlanta-based graphic designer and model. And then she claims that this was not her first time taking to the streets. She says it started back with Trayvon Martin's case. And then she said that she thought it was important to lend her voice to this particular issue. And then it goes on to say, and to dress the part. I mean, as if this was some kind of movie or something. When a real man was killed, when a real man and his family, they have suffered and they're demanding justice, you have these people that see themselves as playing some kind of part, like you play in a movie or something. And it says the outfits, we just pulled inspiration from the Black Panther. She said it was mostly black and leather, pleather. Some of us are vegans or vegetarians. Then it goes on to talk about a Panther patch was not actually from the Black Panthers. It was a service patch for the 66th Infantry with the U.S. Army Division during World War II. And then it talks about another one of the people that was, at this event, this guy by the name of Spike G. It says he works in the Atlanta movie industry. He declined to give his real name. Why is he declining to give his real name? That's what I want to know. It said we didn't want to buy the original Black Panther logo. And he said, I love what they stood for, but I didn't want to offend them until I got the blessing from them. So they used this fake Panther type of logo, and they claimed that the guns were real. And actually, they say it was an AR-15. Not I thought it was an AK, but they said it's an AR-15. And AR-15 and Smith & Wesson 22 LR assault rifle. Um, and this also mentions that they were originally identified as the new Black Panther Party, and then it was later corrected to the Black Panther Revolutionaries Atlanta chapter. Does even an organization like that actually exist? Now, the new Black Panther Party, I'm very familiar with them. When I heard that these people were allegedly affiliated with the new Black Panther Party, I automatically knew that that can't be true unless they change their ideology drastically. Because I know that the new Black Panther Party would not have a white man among them. I know that just from, the rhetoric of the new Black Panther Party and, just based on what they stand for. And then it talks about how somebody from the actual new Black Panther Party um, suggested that the group could be an FBI front organization. An FBI front organization. And we know that this is not beyond the pale. This is something that the FBI actually does to set people up, have them thinking that they're joining some real organization when in fact all they're doing is joining some fake sham organization set up by the FBI to monitor black militants and what they call, what they have called recently black identity extremists. So, this should be a cautionary tale. I mean, I just think that we need to be on the alert, stay on point, because we don't know who these people are. And I just want to be clear. I'm not going to suggest that most of the people that are demonstrating are insincere or that they're actors or anything like that. I believe that most of them are sincere. Most of them are fighting for justice. Most of them are genuinely fighting to end police brutality. But I'm sure that, some of these people are not sincere. Some of these people are literally actors like these people. I'm sure that there may be more. And then also you have these agent provocateurs. I've done a whole video on that subject about how they try to discredit the movement by engaging in extreme activities. And also they discredit the movement by encouraging actual real members of these organizations to engage in illegal activity. And then they neutralize the movement by locking those people up that have been enticed to engage into illegal activity. So, this is just something that I had to talk to you all about, and I want to hear from you. What do you think about this story? So please rate, comment, subscribe, like the video, hit that notification bell so that you'll know when I post new content over here. Uh, I have reason to believe that YouTube may be shadow banning me. So I encourage you to hit that notification bell so that you'll know right away when I post new content. Peace and blessings, everyone. Have a great weekend.